You get into bed after a long day. The house is quiet. The dishes are done. The television is off. And yet, your body refuses to settle. Your legs feel strangely restless. Your mind keeps replaying conversations from earlier in the day. You shift positions again and again, searching for comfort. Your shoulders feel tight. Your jaw may be clenched. Without you realizing it, you fall asleep briefly, only to wake at 2:17 in the morning, staring silently at the ceiling. Is this what getting older feels like? Why does it happen like this? But what if part of the story is something more subtle? Because magnesium plays a surprisingly important role in how the body handles stress, sleep, muscle tension, and nervous system balance. And many adults over 50 may not be getting enough of it. Not because they are careless, not because they are unhealthy, but because modern life slowly drains the body in ways most people never notice. And the body often whispers long before it struggles. For many people, those whispers begin quietly. Sleep feels lighter than it once did. Recovery takes longer. You feel exhausted, yet still unable to fully relax. Most people never connect these symptoms together. They blame stress, aging, busy schedules, too much caffeine, not enough exercise. And yes, sometimes those things absolutely matter. But researchers have also spent years studying magnesium's role in muscle function, sleep quality, mood regulation, nerve signaling, and cognitive health. Research suggests magnesium is involved in hundreds of processes throughout the body. And after age 50, maintaining healthy levels may gradually become more difficult. Nothing dramatic, just slow, gradual change. Part of the reason may be modern food itself. Highly processed meals now make up a large portion of many diets. Even people trying to eat well may struggle to consistently consume magnesium-rich foods. Then there is chronic stress. The nervous system was never designed for non-stop alerts and endless scrolling, or for fragmented sleep, caregiving pressure, financial stress, and constant stimulation. Modern life keeps many people in a low-grade state of tension almost all the time, and magnesium is deeply connected to that system. Some researchers describe magnesium almost like a dimmer switch for the nervous system. Not a sedative, not a miracle cure, but part of the quiet machinery that helps muscles relax, nerves communicate properly, and the brain settle into restorative states. The challenge is that many adults do not recognize the signs when magnesium levels begin drifting lower, because the symptoms often feel ordinary, familiar, easy to dismiss. One of the first signs many people notice is restless sleep. Not necessarily severe insomnia. Interrupted sleep. Sleep that no longer feels deeply restorative. You wake up tired after 7 hours, or your body wakes too early and cannot settle back down. And over time, poor sleep changes the way the world feels. Small frustrations seem bigger. Noise feels louder. Stress feels sharper. Sometimes people wonder if they are becoming emotionally fragile. But in some cases, the nervous system is overloaded. Then there are the muscles. Tight calves. Foot cramps during the night. A stiff neck that appears for no clear reason. Tiny eye twitches. Muscles that stay tense long after the stressful moment has passed. Many adults over 50 live with this so consistently That tension itself begins to feel normal, until relaxation starts feeling unfamiliar. Another overlooked sign is the feeling of being wired but tired. You are exhausted. Your energy feels low, yet your body cannot fully power down. It feels as though the nervous system forgot how to slow down. And honestly, this has become increasingly common in modern adulthood, especially among caregivers, workers, parents, people who spent decades pushing forward and taking care of everyone else first. But the body keeps score quietly. Some people also notice they become more sensitive to stress. Situations that once felt manageable suddenly feel emotionally draining. Patience becomes thinner. Recovery after difficult days takes longer. This is not weakness. Sometimes it is a nervous system asking for more support. Then comes brain fog. You walk into a room and forget why you entered. You lose simple words during conversations. Names take longer to surface. Your thoughts feel slower around the edges. Of course, occasional forgetfulness is part of life. Everyone experiences it. But many adults begin to wonder what these moments could mean, especially after 50. And this is where the conversation becomes especially interesting. Because not all forms of magnesium affect the body in the same way. Most people never hear this part. They buy the cheapest bottle on the shelf and assume magnesium is magnesium. But researchers believe different forms may support different systems throughout the body. And understanding that distinction can completely change how people approach their well-being. For example, magnesium glycinate is often discussed for relaxation and calming support. Many people prefer taking it in the evening because it tends to feel gentler on the stomach and more supportive of nervous system calmness. Not as a sleeping pill, simply as support. Magnesium citrate is more commonly associated with digestion and regularity. Some people find it helpful for occasional constipation, although it may not be ideal for everyone. Then there is magnesium oxide. This form is extremely common because it is inexpensive, but research suggests it may not absorb as efficiently as some other forms. And recently, one particular form has attracted growing attention from brain researchers: magnesium threonate. Why? Because researchers believe it may cross into the brain more effectively than certain other forms. And that possibility has sparked growing interest around memory, focus, and mental clarity. Now this part is important. No magnesium supplement is a miracle, and none of these forms should be viewed as cures. But understanding the differences allows people to make calmer, wiser decisions instead of guessing. Because aging well is often less about dramatic interventions and more about small adjustments practiced consistently. Sometimes the body is not failing. Sometimes it is adapting to decades of stress, poor recovery, overstimulation, and gradual depletion. And when people begin supporting the body differently, the signals often begin changing too. Sleep deepens a little. Muscles soften. The mind feels steadier. Morning energy becomes more stable. Not overnight, but gradually. Like watering a plant that has survived on too little for far too long. One of the most overlooked truths about healthy aging is that resilience is built in small daily moments, not through grand transformations. And if you are wondering where to begin, the first steps are surprisingly simple. Start noticing your body instead of constantly fighting it. Notice how often you feel tense. Notice whether your sleep restores you. Notice whether stress lingers physically inside your muscles. Then gently return to the foundations. More magnesium-rich foods. Leafy greens. Pumpkin seeds. Beans. Nuts. Mineral-rich whole foods that previous generations often consumed more regularly. Hydration matters too. So does sunlight. So does walking. So does reducing the constant noise surrounding the nervous system. Because health after 50 is not only biochemical, it is environmental, emotional, rhythmic. The body responds to the life surrounding it. And if someone is considering magnesium supplements, speaking with a healthcare professional may be helpful, especially for those taking medications or living with kidney concerns. Not from fear, from wisdom. Because intentional aging is not about chasing youth. It is about understanding the body with greater compassion. There is something reassuring about realizing that some symptoms are not signs of personal failure. Sometimes fatigue is not laziness. Sometimes irritability is not personality. Sometimes restless sleep is not simply getting old. Sometimes the body is asking for support in a world that constantly demands more from it. And perhaps that is the deeper lesson here. The body changes with age. Of course it does. But change is not always decline. At times, the body is communicating, adapting, asking us to slow down long enough to listen. Because healthy aging is not about becoming who you once were. It is about becoming more connected to who you are now. Calmer, wiser, more intentional. And maybe tonight, when the house becomes quiet again, you will listen to your body a little differently. Not with fear, not with frustration, but with curiosity. Because sometimes healing begins the moment we stop fighting the body and finally start listening to it.